Good evening, everyone who have joined. Welcome to our live chat. Purity!
Wow. Hi. I don't know why did I put my Purity name on my social media. Not nice because I don't know what it means. I don't know why it was given to me. Because every time I ask my dad, why am I Purity? He tells me I should be grateful that I have a name. So, yeah.
I mean, like, how? Come on. It means that your parents were pure.
I know, but no one thinks that at first instinct when they meet me. The first thing people think when they meet me is like, hey, so do you eat Purity? Do you like Purity when you were growing up? And I'm just like, it's not about that. It's just dad that decided to give me the name. But yeah, I'll accept it. I think that's why I used it on my social media, because I didn't want to hide it anymore. Like, I didn't want to be embarrassed about it anymore. So I was like, okay, let's just insert Purities next to Snethemba. So yeah.
What if your dad wanted you to look young, like for years to come?
To him, to my dad, I think I'll always be young. Like, I think I'll always be young, because yeah, my dad just sees me as his little boy more than his little girl. So yeah. Like a perfect definition of Itomba is like a perfect. If my dad had Instagram, I'd ask him to tune in, because I feel like, yeah, like he's the one that got me hooked to this whole football. Like, I was just there minding my business, and then he comes along and then he introduces me to football, and life has not been the same ever since. So yeah.
Unjani kodwa yena undabezisa uShandu wandaba?
Uyaphila, uyiphoyisa ubopha abantu, so guys, please don't mess with me.
Okay. Now, that I cannot control. I cannot control abo Obaking. I cannot control abo Tabiso. So I cannot even control Maskepe. Maskepe is also here.
And Bendudo as well. Also Bendudo. Bendudo.
Chef. But all these people are here for you.
Thank you guys.
But before Skubere Nogningi, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to chat now. Obviously, my requests were flowing. That they want to Snethemba, and I couldn't ignore. So I had to I had to go to Sisumeli request when was come and join us. Siyabonga kakhulu for accepting our invite.
No, thank you guys for having me. Like, this is so it feels like a big interview, and then you go in front of people, and then they're gonna critique you, and then they want to hear your answers to some of the questions. Like, yeah, we want to know this girl more. What does she like outside of football? Who is she dating? And then yeah. So
yeah, all right. Yeah. People like Usbombo guys, they are going to kill me. Let's deal with this question first. Are you married?
I'm not. I'm not.
So we can now confirm you are unmarried. Are you available?
No. Actually, maybe I should just say. Maybe I should just say that I'm married to Chelsea. Maybe they should just settle everything. Yeah, okay, I'm married to Chelsea Football Club, and the Lord is my shepherd.
And you shall not want.
Hallelujah.
Oh, praise the Lord. Bayaphila kamsomi.
I don't know who are those people, and yeah.
Oh, you don't know these people.
No, but Mbatha bayaphila khona.
Okay. Ngoba baphikiwe is fine. Siyabonga.
I can't believe you. Am I allowed to leave this life?
No, these guys will kill you if you leave. So I'm going to behave myself. No, that's fine. Growing up, I believe you were born as Court, MJs.
Yes, I was. Yes, I
Um,
was.
growing up as Court, how was it like?
Wow, like I said, my dad is a cop, my mom is a teacher, so that's like a baseline for a strict household. Yeah, so I grew up in a very strict household. Just waking up, going to home is all I know. Like home is all I knew. Let me rather say that, because it was just like we didn't visit anyway, and so the only time in Pume Kaya, yahambi eskoleni, yabuya eskoleni uzekhaya. Mangabe ungekho ekhaya, so we have a home in the suburbs and we have our grandmother's homes. Home in the rural, so yeah, so it's either uyaphuma esikoleni noma ngama weekend uyahamba uyakagogo. Other than that, akukho la uzovakasha khona, and then I think that's how I got hooked to football, because our outings involved us going with dad to the stadium to go watch football, and then those were like our kind of visits. But growing up in Escort, it's a small town. Everyone knows the next person. Yeah, everyone knows what's going on. Attended high school there, Escort High School, and then I only left Escort when I had to go to varsity, and that was in 2013.
Then it explains why you went on your first date at 18.
No, and you understand, Kate said it doesn't count as a date. If I want to say that my matric ball was my first date, she says it doesn't count as a date because it was a forced one. So I'd say I actually went on my first date. Damn. I only maybe went on my first date at like, wow, 22. Yeah, probably I went on my first date at 22. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. You know, kona this song that we used to sing when we were young. It's uJesu yamgcina umuntu omusha, yabo mgcina zaphumela. So I think it fits you very well. Then you went to University of Free State. Am I correct?
Yes, I did go to the University of Free State. What people actually don't know is that actually my initial dream, besides being a sport presenter, and then my initial dream was actually to be a doctor. And with me being a doctor, wanting to study medicine was never about just working at any hospital. When I wanted to be a doctor, the sole goal was to be a Bafana doctor. Like that was me growing up. Like, what do you want to be? Bafana doctor. But you know, any team, it was always any team, any of our national teams, even if it's a club, like a Kaizer Chiefs doctor, maybe, you know, yeah. So, so yeah, and then that didn't happen because, yeah, I feel like on a trick, my physics marks were not so great. So my physics didn't balance my maths and life sciences. So I had to find another alternative because I was thinking, okay, God, you don't want me to be a doctor, né? So what do you want me to do? Because I still want to work with people. So what should I do in that? And that's how psychology actually came about. That's how I decided, you know what, maybe let me take one thing that involves working with people and combine it with something that I love. So yeah, started at the University of Free State. So that was the first time I left the province, J. My first time ever was going to Bloemfontein. And First State, yeah, to study at the University of First State, and yeah, that's basically my varsity life.
Free State, Free State, it's so chilled, it's so calm, same like it's called. So I'm sure you didn't really miss home.
I didn't, but it was a good way for me to. It was a good way for me to grow. I grew a lot as soon as I left home to go to the University of Free State. I was actually doing my first year when I attended my first ever audition to be a sport presenter. So I would say my sport presenting journey started when I actually made a decision to go on my first audition to say, you know what, and to actually I had gotten a reassessment. I remember I wrote chemistry and then I choked on chemistry, and then I was already home by the time I got my results back, and I got a message saying I have to come back to write the paper again. And just as that call came, there was an advert on SABC saying, hey, we're looking for a young, vibrant sport presenter. You must be, the initial age was 21. And I was 19 years old at the time. So me being me, I was like, hey, no, I will go still. Like, yeah, I never, that's just me, like, limits are not for me.
We'll come back on that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, Free State university life is hard for a lot of people.
It's the worst.
And then when, out of all things, you decide, Uguti, whenever you buy pizza, you'll just finish 4 slices. That's so unladylike. Who eats 4 slices of pizza? But anyway.
When I'm really hungry.
Okay, when you are really hungry, no.
When I'm really hungry and, you know, you just choked on an exam, you just like, yeah, I don't care about life right now. I just give me my 4 slices of pizza. It's okay. Yeah. And that's how I was in varsity. I had like my tomboyish side, like, yeah. So I think that eating and stuff, I grew up with my brothers. Like, my brothers are my best friends. So I think they kind of had the influence on the type of food I eat. It's only now when I grew up and I started being ladylike and eating salad, yeah, and going on dates and having salad, knowing very well but it's fine. So yeah, I think it was the guys I hanged around with that influenced me a lot. So yeah.
So the Msomi is like they started like influencing you, go to your salad and all that. But I understand his name. Your love for Kaiser Chiefs. I believe that you love Kaiser Chiefs with all that you have.
I love Chelsea with all that I have, and in South Africa.
Wait. Your love for Kaiser Chiefs.
I don't love Kaiser Chiefs. However, I can say that I grew up in a Kaiser Chiefs household. My dad is a Kaiser Chiefs fan. My mom is a Kaiser Chiefs fan, obviously influenced by my dad. My brothers are Kaiser Chiefs fans. So it's only my sister that is actually an Orlando Pirates fan, but she was a Kaiser Chiefs fan. And like your Bendulos turned from being moved from Soweto to Tshwane. So yeah, it happens really. So yeah, but they are a good team. Like, yeah, if I had to pick a team in South Africa, maybe I'd choose them. I don't know.
but Manag, you said you can be a better defender than Mario Boyce and Siyabonga Ngezani. I mean, Sneh.
I said that. Who hacked my social media?
No.
Who hacked my social media? Like this one needs this one.
That's how much you love Chiefs.
Huh?
That's how much you love Chiefs.
No, I was just supporting my dad, but in South Africa, I just love Maritzburg United and Amazulu, the Golden Arrows.
All right. No, ngiyabuzwa. Your love for Thabiso Kutumela. I believe Thabiso Kutumela akaconsi phansi. Whenever Maritzburg United is playing, you don't watch a lot of players. You don't watch Abosanoka. You don't care about the Ophories. You just want to see Kutumela play and scoring goals. Why?
Because anyone that knows me knows that I love growth. I love seeing growth. It's either in myself or players that I've watched for the longest time. So as soon as a lot of players in South Africa are constantly, not even in South Africa, but in the football fraternity, players are constantly slandered. They're always ridiculed. One moment we love a player when he's doing well, and then he loses form, or he joins another team and he's no longer the same player that we knew him to be. And sometimes we have high expectations for players, and then when they fall short of those expectations, then we start coming with stones like, no, he must leave my team, he's a bad player. And so with Kutumela, for me, I just loved his growth when he joined Maritzburg United. Like it felt like he found his niche, like he found a home, and he was able to be comfortable. And yeah, like I've just been admiring his growth. Like that's really all to it. His growth has been outstanding. And I remember going to the taxi rank one time, and I was talking to one of the taxi drivers, and he was a huge he's a huge Maritzburg United fan, and somehow the conversation led to Kutumela, and he was talking about, that boy's growth is just amazing. And then that's when I realized that, you know what, I'm not the only person that actually loves Kutumela. A lot of people have been observing his growth, and to finally see someone doing well, it's like, it's something that's just inspiring. Outside of football, it's just inspiring to see someone constantly grow.
You know, besides Usislindi Wedube, you are one of the ladies on social media who is always claimed to be somebody's wife. I see there's a guy here who raised something. He claims you are his wife. Do you know him?
No.
All right.
Maybe right. No, when I see his picture, I missed that comment. When I see his picture, maybe I'll know him, and maybe I'll remember that day we got married and stuff.
Oh no, okay, I understand that he's a bit ambitious, because these guys that are here, I mean, at first you said you are single, so when someone claims you as his wife, I mean, it's gonna be a trick. It's gonna be tricky here. But anyway, sports psychologist, why?
Oh my gosh, wow. Like I said, that after the medicine dream didn't happen, I still had to find something that involved working with people, because I'm just that person. It always has to involve people. Like with me, even with my dreams, when I pray about my dreams to God, it's always like, okay, God, I want this, but show me how is it gonna benefit the other person, because our dreams cannot only be our dreams only. They have to be for certain people as well. So sports psychology for me, I realized that our players deal with a lot, and when you get to the field of play, it's the physical aspect of the game that most coaches focused on. But they don't focus on the mental side of things, which is like the most important thing, because you can be healthy physically, you're all fit, you're ready for game time, but as soon as your frame of mind is not in the right place, then your performance is going to go down. Your agitation to other players is not going to be the same. Pressure is going to be too much for you. So for me, sports psychology has always been that thing of me trying to be a link and help coaches and players understand that mental healthness, mental toughness is as important as physical toughness. And that's just how I went about it. Yet to get my license though, so I still have to complete my postgraduate, and then get my license. Hopefully, hopefully in 3 years' time, I see myself having my own practice actually, and working with all our national teams if possible. But I just want footballers to know that there's someone that is there. Not even footballers. I don't want to limit it to football, but athletes as such, because really there's a lot of pressure that they deal with. And the other time we had a dialogue with football, France Sports, and I remember a lot of us were talking on this point about, no one knows ukuthi lo mdlali, we are busy telling him ukuthi yo uyaboza lo mjitsa ayingeke coach imkhiphe lo mjitsa, awazi ukuthi lo muntu udila nani ekhaya, uphuma ekhaya njani lo muntu, bangaka abantu abanakelekalayo ekhaya, abazali bakhe banjani, i-support system yakhe injani. So those are the kind of questions that I hope to answer as I go the route of sports psychology.
You've actually touched on a very interesting subjects there, and I can see a gap is there with professional, and you are really needed. But in this industry, football industry in particular, do you feel that there is a need for sports psychologists?
I think there is actually. When it comes to my dreams, actually, I speak to Dr. Tula. I asked for a lot of advice from Dr. Tula Ngwenya, because I love his work. Really admire him. He's like a big brother to me. So I want to ask him, because I called him once and I just wanted to find out, how do you feel about sports psychology? Because maybe I could be I could be fighting for this dream so hard and I'm so passionate about it. Like, no, footballers need to be taken care of. Athletes need to be taken care of. But I was asking him, like, do you feel there is a gap for sports psychologists? And he was like, it's needed. It's a pity that we don't have it, but it is needed. And we're even talking about the 2014 World Cup. There was a time where the Brazilian national team wasn't coping at all because of the pressure and hosting the World Cup and, you know, fans just expecting a lot. The sports psychologist had to be immediately brought in to try and settle the players, to try and bring back that motivation within camp, for players not to feel overwhelmed. So it is something that is needed in South Africa, because medical doctors alone, they cannot cover that. As much as I believe some doctors do psychology in university, but they don't get in depth as much as psychologists do. So there will always be that gap. There will always be needed. Maybe the only thing that will be a hinder to what having sports psychologists will probably be the financial aspect of things. Maybe teams will feel like if we have a medical doctor, then maybe we don't need a psychologist. So that's why medical doctors will tend to take care of everything in the Department of Health in every team. But psychologists are definitely needed. I think there is a space for psychologists in our industry. And if there isn't space, if people are not making space, we will break through, we will break boundaries, and yeah, we will make a difference. But yeah, we will just cut through, because I believe they are needed.
Do you share the same thoughts? Sportcasters and journalists, they put players under unnecessary pressure.
Wow. I don't think I think fans put you know, sportcasters, we just ask questions. We ask questions. We just want to know your side of the story. But it's the fans that actually put pressure. It's social media that puts pressure. So by the time we ask questions, then someone is already under a lot of pressure. So I don't think it's journalists and sportcasters that put pressure.
Because I can see my brother Usandile Nduma from goal.com, I think he's in disbelief at the moment with my question, because I've seen that some players are overhyped and they fail to live up to expectations, because suddenly they are seen as superstars and they cannot handle fame. Do you feel that sports psychologists can come in and calm players down, and perhaps journalists, whenever they see a good player, they can always try by all means to give players proper support, give players proper criticism, and give players constructive criticism, I meant to say, give players proper feedback about their performances? Do you feel that sports psychologists can always come into play around those things?
They can, and I don't think players should take criticism. Is very important, but it has to be constructive, and you can't stop a journalist, you can't stop an analyst, you can't stop a fan from having an opinion over you and your football. But you can, however, stop how you react to it. So I think with journalists, I don't know if you watched the last game. Not even, it was the second to last game where Grealish was being asked a question by a journalist, and in the middle of answering that question, the journalist said to him, "Please answer if you are comfortable with answering it." And I think that is very important in terms of supporting players, that don't make them answer questions that they are not comfortable with answering. As much as it is your job to ask questions, to get the answers, because that's how fans will love you. They will love you as the person that, yeah, Sne's doing her job, she's asking the questions. But at the same time, you need to be, maybe I'm bringing psychology too much into sportcasting as well, but I think you need to be human as well in answering in asking your questions to certain players, to say, are you comfortable with asking this? Can we publish this? And but don't criticize them in public. Don't tag them. Don't make them see that you are you are fighting them, because sometimes you come across as someone that is fighting the players, especially if you are going to take the players and just do your job and let the players do their jobs as well. But I feel with psychologists can only do so much. A psychologist can help you deal with pressure, especially for players that that were overhyped. Not really overhyped, but look at Lodge. There was a time where Lodge he is a big thing still in South Africa, but he was so big, and then there came a time when his game dropped, and you could see that this person is going through pressure of being something so huge in South Africa, and then now it's like he's dropping form and he can't deal with it all. It's like if he doesn't perform today, if he goes onto social media, because that's the thing with fans, they will tag you, they want you to see the bad comment that they are saying about you. So psychologists can come in with that. They can in fact decrease that gap. But when it comes to other aspects of players living their lifestyles, of how players spend and whatever they need to do, it's going to involve a whole team. It's going to involve psychologists. It's going to involve financial advisors. Yeah, it's going to go beyond psychologists. But psychologists are solely there to make sure that, can you deal with the pressure that is upon you now? Do you need someone to talk to? What is troubling you? What do you think you can do moving forward from this? What do you think is holding your performance back? If you look at yourself, comparing yourself this season and the previous season, what could be the issue? So yeah, I think, yeah, psychologists can always come in and help.
I'm fully convinced with what you are saying. I'm fully convinced. If the way you saw ubegindaba ngabe sengiqomile. And what you are saying, Obakeng, is reminding me of a player who once thanked his wife and girlfriend at the same time, and also Troy Deeney actually insulted a journalist back for asking him if he's recovering. Those are the kind of things that I think brings a lot of unnecessary pressure on our players. But coming back to you, 2013. SABC top 50 something. Tell us about that.
Yes. So like I said, I had choked on chemistry and I had to go back to rewrite it again. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I had passed all my subjects, but I remember chemistry was one subject I choked, and then yeah, so I told my parents that, hey, I need to go back, because by the time I got my results, I was already home and I had to now ask again for imali Greyhound, travel 9 hours to go right. And then I saw that I got a reassessment at the same time that I saw that an SABC was looking for a sportcaster and to join their pool of presenters. And it was, for me, 2013 was the first stage of seeing if actually I wanted to be a TV presenter, because I've not always been bubbly. I grew up shy, cried a lot, yeah, like in public places. As soon as I don't see my parents around, no, I want to go home. And so I grew up with that idea that I was shy, and it was constantly fed to me. Like my parents, like, oh my gosh, leave Sneh, she's so shy. So when I went to varsity, it was like I rediscovered myself that, hey man, you're not shy. It's something that has been constantly spoken to you, that you started believing it, but it's not actually you. So 2013 was like a conversation with me and God, like, hey, so I got this year assessment, and then these people are looking for a presenter. So that's you saying, I must go back to Bloom and go to audition for this. So the initial age was 21. I was 19. I didn't care. I was like, you know what? Bazobiza my security, but yeah, I'm going. And yeah, man, I arrived, and yeah, the following day, one of my friends accompanied me to the SABC offices in Bloom, and the queue was long, definitely filled with a lot of guys, and you know, and it was filled with a lot of women too, and other people that were just not passionate. I think some people were just there because, hey, I want to be on TV. Like, yeah, I'm just trying this out because I want to be on TV. And for me, it was like, oh my gosh, like, football is my life. I'm here because football is my life, and to share it with other people, it would be a cherished opportunity. So yeah, and you know, I went there, and a lot of guys, you know, guys always they always have this funny idea to watch women and football. It's a sad reality. So some guys, you know, they would undermine you. And, you know, but for me, it's up to you to undermine me so I can embarrass you. So they were there like, you sure you know football? And then I'm thinking, okay, no, it's fine. I won't even answer. I'm just going to get in there and do my thing. So I went in with a bunch of guys. I remember Thomas Mlambo was one of the judges, Mr. Tusom Taunge and Sonia said, Sonia Mbele now. And then I never, throughout my auditions, I never want to prepare because I always want to put myself under pressure. So I prefer being given a scenario and just rolling with it in my auditions because it helps. I feel like I perform better under pressure. So yeah, I got in there and I did my audition. I was confident through it. And yeah, the judges were impressed. And then it came to the age part where they asked me, how old are you? And I was like, well, I'm 19. And then they're like, oh, and where you from? Started coming with those questions. I'm like, no, I'm from KZN. And then they're like, you came all the way from KZN? I'm like, no, I studied in Bloom. I'm actually back here because I have to write an exam. And the judges are like, you want to disturb your school life but you are talented. But right now we feel like being a sport presenter at the age of 19 is going to come with a lot of pressure. And it was fun. Even though I moved on to the next round, I knew that, you know what, it's fine, it's done because they've given me their verdict. And so, yeah, just another door just slammed. And I was like, you know what, we keep it moving. That's when you start investing in yourself. I think from that rejection, that's when I started writing articles. That's when I was just getting used to writing about football and stuff because I never want to be boxed as just Sneh, the sportscaster. No, like I'm much more than that. So that's why I say psychology, sportcaster, and writing. So like, yeah.
2010 World Cup. You had an opportunity to be a flag bearer. Am I correct?
I almost had it, but they didn't choose me.
Oh, you almost had it. Oh, okay.
Had it, and yeah, like it still hurts me to this day. And I was telling them at Super Sport when I submitted that video that, you know, guys, I'm talking about this, but low key, I'm hurt that I was never chosen as a flag bearer because. Wow, guys, it was such a big moment. I feel like as a football fan at that time, you wanted to be more than a spectator, man. It was so much. You wanted to get involved. Of course, I was 16. I couldn't be a volunteer, and because of age limits. So being a flag bearer was like my only opportunity. And my parents helped me buy airtime. Here I am. Competition. I'm like, oh God, I see myself in flag like South Africa, Payana, and come tracksuit Adidas, and I waited every time. And yeah, you just move. Yeah.
And then came an opportunity with Super Sports. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know that's actually where I met Lindiwe Dube, guys. So yeah, that's where we met in 2014. We both auditioned for Super Sport and we were both finalists, like we're in the top 10. Wow, that was after the 2013 rejection, and then 2014 again I gave it a go ahead now with Super Sport. I think with everyone that wants to break into the industry, Super Sport is like. They are like those guys, like you want to work for Super Sports in terms of their variety. Like, you know, if you can't do football, you know you got rugby. If you can't do rugby, you know you got basketball. Well, basketball is back. And then, so, and then we auditioned in 2014. And it was a perfect audition. I enjoyed everything about my Super Sport audition. And then went all the way to the top 10, and that's the year that Lindiwe Dube and Amanda Manku were selected. as the presenters to join Super Sports. And like I was so happy for them. And I always say when I'm doing because I'm a content contributor on certain radio stations, maybe for women's football, and they would ask me questions like who inspires you, and in the sport industry, I never pick people that I've never seen their come up. With me, I think India Dube and I click because I relate so much to her. I saw her come up. I saw her hustling. I saw her getting to SuperSport, auditioning like the rest of us, and actually coming up top to actually get the job. So yeah, that's how I auditioned for SuperSport, and yeah, that was it with SuperSport.
And 11 July 2018. You remember that day?
No, I don't.
Don't? Okay. Let me help you remember. You went back at SuperSport. You met Umotidis.
Yes.
SuperSport.
Yeah, like again, it's with breaking into this industry, you take every opportunity that is handed to you. That's the thing. Like nothing comes easy. If they wake you up at 5 a.m. and they say, hey, we need a voiceover artist, you get up, you go. If they say there's a woman that wants to mentor women in football, you go. So that's how with Motidis it came about. She wanted women to mentor, and I believe I'm constantly growing. Like I mentioned, that growth to me is so important. I never reach a point of thinking you've made it in life. Your growth is perfect now. No, I always want to keep moving. So even then, she just wanted people to upload videos of themselves presenting a game or just talking about sports, and then I uploaded my video, and then I think it was after a few days, then I got the call that, hey, Motidisi liked you, she'd like to mentor you, so you're gonna be shadowing her on SuperSport Blitz. And it was just amazing. It was just amazing going back to the SuperSport offices and, seeing how everything is done. And yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Motidisi is super, super amazing, so supportive of everything that we do. She will tell you your wrongs. I remember with the SABC Sports, when she saw my debut show, she wrote points. Like she watched the show and she wrote points of things that I needed to improve on. As much as she was busy, she made time to take a day off and actually write points for me that I like this, I don't like this, this is how you can improve. And yeah, those are the people you want to keep around. When they say women don't support women, don't believe them. Like she's there every step of the way with everything that I do. So yeah.
18 December 2019.
Oh, hey.
Millions and millions of people saw you for the first time on SABC platform.
Oh wow, yeah, that was a big day for me. Like, yeah, that was unbelievably a big day for me, and it surely did. It's opening a lot of doors, and yeah, I'll forever be grateful for it. And I was actually telling my friends and people that asked, because I got a lot of inboxes from DMs, I mean, from young girls asking me, like, how did you break through? And for me, it was like sometimes you just gotta ask God for that one opportunity, because for me it was that, like, just pray for that one opportunity for people to see your talent. And then after that, you're done. Walk away, you're done. You know you've done your part. Whoever wants you will come get you. Whoever wants you to sign the contract will come get you. But that was me on the 18th of December, because wow, man, it felt like a breakthrough after like 6 years of knocking on the same door. Like from the age of 19, I started with auditions, but I only got my breakthrough in 2019. So it was really big for me. And yeah, it was everything and more. I was nervous. I remember I got a call at 11 on the same day, 11 in the morning, like, hey, Sneh, you on our show for tonight. I'm like, so sorry, tonight, like it's 11 now in the morning. How am I? And then I realized, you know what? You don't, all the preparations that you've done before were preparing you for this moment. So yeah, it was like that for me, because constantly I did a lot of audition videos and just submitted them to SuperSport just for them to see my growth, and so I'll do a link to a football game, you know, send it through, and so I think all those tapes for me were like preparation, because they, you know what they say, you know, you stay prepared and you don't prepare only when the opportunity comes. So yeah, so when I did my sport at 10, it was like everything, like live TV is everything. Nerve-wracking. As soon as that red light comes on to say you on air, and you just see faces of people that are possibly watching you, and you're like, oh God, I have to nail this. But the fact that you're doing what you love, it just keeps you going, and yeah, it's the most beautiful thing ever.
And you miss Thomas again. Thomas, you are too young. You miss Thomas. Thomas.
And then you were saying that you were saying that no, the reason I was rejected back then is because they wanted me to focus on school. It was they were preparing me for this big moment. So now I got nothing to complain about, because they finally opened the door for me. So yeah, but he's a really nice person, and a good professional, very easy person to work with, because he wanted to make sure all the time that you are comfortable, you are looking at the right camera. And yeah, it was just beautiful, man. It was just beautiful. I still haven't forgiven him for telling me I was too young, because I wanted, if footballers make their debut at the age of 16, 18, why can't I make my debut at 19 as a sport presenter? But still, I'm grateful, because after that rejection, there was still so much to learn, and I'm glad that I'm still learning, actually.
I wanted us to see the part, because you know when it comes to Opu Thomas and anyway, let's leave it like that. 2019 2019 G Sports Women in Media, you were nominated.
I was. So like I said, that in 2013 I started writing. You know, I wanted to explore my writing skills when it comes to football. And I remember my first ever article that I wrote was published on Sokaladum. They had this Get Published section, which was dominated by men. And then I came through, and then I wrote this article about what we can learn from Germany as we try and grow our football in South Africa, like how we can take patterns from Germany's development and how we can use it in South Africa. And yeah, so that article was published on Sokaladum, and that's when I realized that, oh, hey, I can actually write. I'm actually good at this. Then I just started writing, and then I realized that, okay, so everyone is writing about men's football. Who then is writing about women's football? Why can't I be that person that takes women's football to the people, let people know about the challenges that women footballers face? And yeah, that's how I started. And yeah, that's how G Sport noticed me, through my articles, through my social media posts, because yeah, you know, my life across all my platforms, my life is just sports. So yeah, that's how G Sport noticed me. And yeah, I remember Kes Naidu calling me to say, hey, you've just been shortlisted as a finalist for Women in Media. And I was like, oh wow, like that is, I didn't expect it, because it's not like everything we do we want to be rewarded for it, but sometimes it's just passion, really. I just wanted to explore women's football, and yeah, and just bring it to the people. And it's been yeah, I'm still doing that. Still got Soccer Zella, so yeah.
And then Chelsea. of all teams. Okay, before you tell me about Chelsea, are you excited with the news that Coutinho is coming back?
I'm not.
Why?
No, I'm not. Because I feel like he's not perfect for what Lampard is still building. That's why in my favor I was saying, if we ever had to get Coutinho, then we can get him on loan and see how he does after one season before we make a permanent decision on him. So yeah, but I love the current crop of players that we are bringing through for next season. We still lacking. We still need a defender. We still need a goalkeeper, but I'm excited for what Lampard is building. But with Coutinho, I'm not excited. If we get John Stones, I'm not gonna be excited because I feel like there was a moment when we needed him and we didn't get him, and I don't think now there is much difference that he's gonna make that the current crop of players were not making. So, yeah.
FA Cup, are you guys winning it?
Lampard qualified for the FA Champions League and he's gonna win the FA Cup in his first season with Chelsea. Tell me that's not brilliant. but yeah, I definitely think we're winning it.
But besides the money, what's so special about Chelsea?
Wow, you know, when you connect to a team, it's just love, and you never know how you got hooked to it. Because I always say, I remember I fell in love with Chelsea when we got a DSTV at home and I started being introduced to England football. And I remember in 2004 we were playing against a certain red team that I loathe so much, but but it's fine. And
from Manchester.
Yeah. I didn't mention names. That's from you and not me. But yeah, and then I remember just saying, my dad was a red team, and I was like, yo, no, Chelsea, come on, Chelsea. And yeah, and I got to see your Michael Ballack, your Frank Lampard, and those two are one of the people that made me fall in love with Chelsea. Like, yeah, and it has been love ever since then. Like, it's just an amazing team. Love it with all my heart. I go all hard for Chelsea. I don't participate much in South African banter because I'm gonna be accused of supporting a certain team. But when it comes to Europe, I'll break necks when it comes to my team.
You laugh.
Huh?
It's not accusation. Sneh, your best moment since 2013 up until now. What was your best moment
in my life, or
in your life?
Yeah, it has to be the SABC debut. It has to be the SABC debut because I felt like it was a moment that I needed. And yeah, so when it came, I feel like I handled it well, and yeah, I feel like God was just there, and yeah, he just made it my great moment. And from then it's like I had inner peace, because for the longest time I was questioning certain things, like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting am I not getting calls that I want? Why am I not getting emails that I want? Am I not good enough? Because you start having those things, like, you're like, but I'm passionate about this. Without it, there's nothing else that I know. So yeah, but my SABC debut has to be definitely be my best moment.
Your PSL 11.
Wow. Okay. So
I'm noting down your team as well.
Okay, so we start with, let's start with 4 defender. Okay, let's start with the goalkeeper first. Wow, let's put Itumele Nkune.
Okay.
And then please can you put Tamim Kiza, Cape Town City.
Okay.
The current one or I can
it's
just
up to you. It's up to you.
Just go with the current one. And then there's a talent that is underrated, and that is Buhle Mkwanazi.
Okay.
I'll put Banazi. Wow. Then I'll put Diruk. I'm going back to Marisburg now. And then Sundowns fans. I don't have
a left back.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Umxolisi we-Maritzburg United, ne?
Okay.
Yeah. I'll keep her time in Kizo for Umxolisi.
No, your back for your Umxolisi is your left back.
Because ngiyamfuna uThapelo Morena lapho
okay. So keeper Sifako Morena.
Yeah, and then we come to the midfielders. Wow. Can you please put Snethemba Zwane?
Okay.
Center midfield. Can you please put Monare? And then the young boy, Tebogo Mokoena.
Super Sports, ne?
Yes. Oh well. Now I don't want. I need to be. And then can you please put Vincent Pule? Please put Vincent Pule. I'm going to Paris now. And then yay, Amakolama Zokamuga. And I wanted to put Uhlompo Kekana, but it's fine. It's fine. I wanted it in my midfield, but it's fine. Just keep the one I have. So can you please put Untuli Wamazulu?
Ubongi Ntuli, okay.
Untuli. And then Untuli uzolekelelwa, like I mentioned with Tanda, I love growth. But Mhango's growth and consistency impressed me. So I would say Gisenza with those two forwards. So yeah.
Interesting ukuthi uKutumela is not in your team.
Ubanena?
uKutumela.
No, I give Fagaga. Yeah, because people already know that I came. So I just wanted them to know other players that I'm actually fond of and think that they are actually great players. So yeah, that would be my lineup.
Who's coaching this team?
Wow. Because when it comes to coaches, I love coaches that I identify with. I love Mr. Steve Compila's intelligence. So he would be my coach. He would be my coach for the team. He would be my coach for the team, being assisted by wow. Being assisted by Kevin Hunt and being assisted by Kevin Hunt and Coach Roland Mokwena.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this is perfect. This is perfect. Someone is asking if you will win any cup, but it's fine. That's your team.
That's my lineup, and wherever I am, I win. So that definitely win. I can't have Mhango and not get goals that are gonna win. So yeah. That would be my lineup.
Someone asked me. Someone asked me to ask you this interesting question. Football players, do they slide into your DMs?
Oh wow. Can I skip that?
A simply yes or no. A simply yes or no will do. Yes or no.
Can I skip that? I just have brothers. It's brothers that slide into my DMs. Yeah.
Okay. Brother zone.
No, they just my homies. Like we understand each other like that. It's nothing deep. So Yeah.
it's not that deep. All right, but you have given us an answer. I know that I'm a comrade, I'm a football Twitter. I mean, they're always on the DMs. I know that. You don't have to tell me. And now I'm clear. For go to players as well. They are knocking. They are knocking. They are knocking. They are knocking. But Sneh, people wanted me to tell you, Guti, we love you so much. We appreciate you and we support you, and we'd like to see you succeeding as well. I read your article on Soccerzella last month when you wrote about the menstruation cycle and all those kind of things. It was an interesting article, interesting angle. Did you also write for this month?
Yes, I've already submitted an article already, and this month's article, okay, I think it's going to be published next month, but I was basically just exploring the effect of the COVID-19 on women's football. Like, what does it mean for women's football? Why was it so easy for men's football to have a lot of meetings to deliberate if it should continue and then end? But with women's football, it was so easy to just cut it out and say, no, don't, the season has ended. Everything that comes, it's like every decision is easy when it comes to women's football as compared to the male counterpart. So yeah, my article this month is basically like exploring that, the effects of COVID and what can be done to make sure that women's football is not left behind in whatever strategy from FIFA and different organizations in terms of women's football striving during this time. And I think it was inspired by the FIFA summit recently, and also another women's football summit. So it was just basically inspired by that. And yeah, I hope people are gonna like it, and they're gonna understand more about the challenges that women's football go through. Because yeah, it's like a series. Because at first I was exploring, like, do you even know that before we even experience pressure from the industry itself, we're still experiencing pressure of just being a woman without doing anything. So it's like a series. Now we're exploring, okay, from the pressure of menstruation, and then now we still have to deal with another challenge. So it's always like challenge on challenge on challenge. And I just wanted people to be aware of those challenges, and maybe if they are aware, then they're gonna support women's football. They're gonna stop ridiculing women's football in the comment section, like, oh no, under 12 ingabashaya laba, no, we don't need those kind of comments. We just need people to support women. Like, that's all we need, nothing else. We just need support, whether it's us being sportcasters or playing football, and then all we need is just support and to be taken serious.
If you don't write about it, if you don't talk about it, nobody is going to support women's football. Keep on writing, keep on talking about it, keep on advocating for women's football. And there are people like Footy Twitter who are always there to support your work and to support women's football. We love you. Thank you very much for joining us. And I hope you have a beautiful evening.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me.